this is Bella. Bella, this is Mr. McCandles.
Hello, Bella.
Oh.
The era was, I suppose, a grounding in Victorian era, but actually we started there, and then Baxter, obviously a sort of a futurist, would have been forward thinking. He would have had electricity in his house, and from that we gave ourselves the carte blanche to also make the world like that.
And sort of because we're in more of a fantasy world, you can kind of become a bit braver from that. So you create that world with these Victorian shapes and Victorian hairstyles, but that means that then when you put Bella into that, in this kind of fantasy world, she really stands out.
And as long as it felt somehow grounded in this Victorian familiarity, that really we could go completely off-piste, and it was more fantastical and sort of dreamlike, really, and a bit psychedelic.
So camera-wise, I just film what's in front of the camera, and what was in front of the camera in Poor Things is pretty amazing. So I was like the kid in the candy store every day, just filming all these beautiful sets and costumes and makeup that looked amazing, you know?
She's an experiment.
Good evening.
Her brain and her body are not quite synchronized, but she's progressing at an accelerated pace.
The biggest challenge was making sure that we did something different.
The costumes and the set have to work together. You know, they have to be symbiotic, and the colours and the shapes and the whole sort of approach needed to be, you know, one vision.
With Bella, I wanted to show in hair and makeup that she's not shackled to society norms. You know, the fact that her hair is down all the way through the movie pretty much, that wouldn't have happened in Victorian times. And it's a real marker of who she is, that she doesn't live by those kind of rules.
I was working carefully to, you know, dress Bella each day for each scene. You know, so at the beginning, she's very much like a child in a grown-up's body, and she's being dressed by a maid. And then when she moves to Lisbon, she doesn't have a maid anymore. And then it's about how she puts these looks together and trying to imagine her being a young child, maybe dressing up in a grown woman's wardrobe. And then when she gets to Paris, she sort of finds her way. So the clothes take a slightly different journey. They become much more structured and more serious. And at the end of the film, you know, she's in clothes and, you know, they're quite inconspicuous.
I am Bella Baxter, and there is a world to enjoy, circumnavigate. It is the goal of all to progress, grow.
A woman plotting her course to freedom. How delightful.
It's not every day you get to read a script like that and be told at the same time that they want to build everything, that, you know, you're not going to shoot it in London or Lisbon and Paris. You're going to go and build those things on a soundstage. And then you hear that you can make miniatures and, you know, all the stuff that I'd only ever learnt about at film school. And then you meet Yorgos and he's like, yeah, I want to do all this stuff, you know, and some other filmmakers play lip service to it, but, you know, that guy, when he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it.
You know, he's very good at being sort of able to come up with ideas quite spontaneously. So, you know, he likes to be prepped, but at the same time, not to be too kind of sort of like locked in that you can't make up stuff as you go along on a day-to-day basis. So he would set up a scene and then we'd see how it played out, and he'd come up with lots of ideas, and the shorthand I know from that is to wait for him to sort of say, maybe we try this shot, and you go, great idea.
Bella!